So Rich Rasmussen, McFarland,
we should call him Double R, huh?
Rich maybe. Yeah. McFarland or Ray in the change of pace rule? That's actually a pretty good question.
That is really good. Oh, man. Both of them are fast.
So is this assuming you're putting Ray in the backfield then?
No, just in general. He said just in the
change
rule, right?
Change of pace rule.
Yeah, just change of pace. Well, because Ray they used them in a little bit of backfield. They did some sweeps and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like McFarland should be the more polished player, but I just like Ray's game right now. I feel like they both play fast, but Ray is under control. Whereas McFarland, he's still a little out of control. I mean, we see it with the slip in and things like that. For me, I'm leaning Ray as it stands today. What's today? The 20th, I think it is. Yeah. So I'm leaning towards Ray right now. But if McFarland can get under control, then I think McFarland can definitely, bring a different element to this game because he is the natural running back. Whereas McFarland, that's not his natural position. So even though you can use him, and like we said, we saw the Steelers use him at times last year with different sweeps and reverses and stuff like that. I just feel like he needs to be going north and south. Whereas McFarland, you can do a little bit more of your traditional runs and more change of pace style plays like that without having to get too exotic from a calling standpoint with it being Anthony McFarland because of that running back just foundation that he plays with.
I'm thinking right off the top, I think McLeod brings something that Harris wouldn't necessarily bring. Not saying McFarland doesn't either because he's probably a little bit faster than Harris. I would just rather have Harris on the field than McFarland. If you brought out McLeod, I could almost get the reasoning behind it because he is that like straight line speed, that burner. Maybe you could get him those jet sweeps. If you're going to do some type of handoff or change of pace thing with McFarland, I would just rather Harris be out there. Whether it's
the reason
at receiver, I want Harris out there. In the backfield, I want Harris.
Part of the change of pace factor, it does save those guys. So it's like if we know this is a waste down, meaning it's second and short. Second and short is always a waste down because hey, if I don't get this, it's third and short, so I'm still on schedule.
Oh, I get what you're saying now.
Yeah. So like some of those plays, it's like, man, if we want to have this dude just run up in the middle for a 2-yard gain, like. He don't need that extra hit right there.
And McFarland would be better than McLeod for that. I get that.
So it's like, let that guy take that hit. And you see teams do it. Even the Cowboys. I mean, even though Zeke has been their featured guy, we've seen plenty of times where, all right, dude, ways down. Get in here and get you a rep right here. Zeke doesn't play 100% of the offensive snaps. That's part of the reason in terms of how you can keep those guys fresh throughout the season because it adds up. Those hits, man, they add up. We know they add up. We know the shelf life for running backs is extremely short. So that part of me, I'm like, I personally would much rather have those guys out there for that type of stuff than have Najee taking the rep just for the sake of taking it.
I'm glad you clarified that. Yeah. Okay, so then the next question is McFarland or Snell? I would just rather have Snell if you're talking about a 2-yard run.
I mean, I think between Snell and McFarland, they're going to play that. I mean, those two guys are going to have to compete for that number 2 spot. That's the thing that I like, though, about Najee being here. When you have your number 1 already solidified, well, now it bumps that pecking order. So instead of those guys having to compete to be starters, which we feel like they will be limited in 2021, now you're looking at those guys as change of pace backs, second down back, or second backs, RB2, RB3. They look a lot more appealing as RB2, RB3. You talking about Benny Snell as potential RB3? I'm like, dude. Hey, it's playing.
We've seen him get 100-yard games.
Absolutely. Multiple. We've seen it multiple times now. It's not just a one-time thing. We've seen it happen multiple times in multiple years. So if you're telling me he's your 2 or 3 or your number 3 back, I love it. Him as the starter, I'm not a fan of it right now. Like, does he have flashes? Sure, but we know he has some question marks, some limitations. So to me, I'm fine with him being a change pace back as well. I just think the preseason, that's where we're going to get to see who becomes the true number 2. Because if McFarland has the sophomore jump that we talk about, we talked about that with Benny Snell, we talked about that with Juju, we're talking about that with James Washington. We're hoping it's going to happen with Claypool. If McFarland has a jump where he comes back and his contact balance looks good, his footwork looks good, he's cutting off the right feet, he's not slipping and sliding over the place, he's actually playing fast. Well, if that's the case, well then Benny might not be the number 2 guy. He might be the number 3 guy. Depending on what Balaj look like, he might be 4. If.
Yeah, we keeping 4.
Exactly. So that's the thing. So that's for me. I'm like, because Balaj, if he can put it together, like we said, he has the framework. If he can put it all together, he can do some things that can, bump those other guys down.
There's 10 carries. One of the commenters was talking about.
Absolutely.
Preseason's going to be fun, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Because we haven't had preseason last year. It's been a while. And now we have some of these little storylines that are really interesting for Steeler fans. The cornerbacks get to see Harris for the first time, and also that backup running back role. Also inside linebacker a little bit. So there's going to be a lot of fun things that are going on with preseason. I'm excited. We get to see Haskins versus Mason as well.
I know. Oh, you just forget my dog, Dobbs.
Dobbs, too. Yeah, Dobbs.
Don't disrespect my dog, Dobbs, like that,
Yeah,
man.
Dobbs, too.
Man.
It'll be a good competition, man.
Hey, guys, come on, man. I'm a dog.
I'm
a Dobbs fan. I don't know why I love Dobbs. This is my dude. It's Dobbs, man. Maybe it's because we was hooping. That's what it was. We was part of that. Like, this is what, 2 years ago? We was on the little Steelers like basketball thing.
Going to schools
yeah. He was my running mate, bro. It's like, yo, Dobbs. So ever since then, I don't know. We just connected, man.
We got from South Florida Steel 777. McFarland played under Canada in college, right? That should help a lot, don't you think?
I do feel like it will help in terms of his familiarity and his ability to pick up on it ahead of the other guys. But in terms of, do I think that gives him an automatic leg up in the competition? Not necessarily, just because it's certain things about his game that are different than Benny Snell that are going to be different from Kalen Ballage. And once all of those guys are on the same playing field from understanding the playbook standpoint, well, then it goes back to who's playing better at that time, not who's more familiar with the scheme and things like that. So early on, he might have a leg up, but since they're actually it looks like they're going to actually all participate in OTAs, or at least a good amount of the guys are in town and showing up for that stuff. I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue or that big of a leg up for him having that familiarity with Canada.
All right. We got Jay the Guru saying McFarland can be nice. He just needs more time.
And I agree with that. I think that the speed, like, if he just looks like the road runner, it's just the feet moving, but it's like he hasn't figured out where he's trying to go or how he should get there. And you see that with younger players. Younger players, they do that, man, because the game is a lot faster. The guys are moving a lot faster for him. He's used to getting that ball and feeling like he has a lot more time compared to at the NFL level. When you get that ball, you feel like you're holding a dynamite, or you feel like you got, hot potato and everybody coming to you. Like, it's a bad feeling, man. It's a bad feeling. So sometimes make you, I got to try to get over here a little bit faster. And until the game slows down for him, that's going to continue to happen. So hopefully it's slowing down for him. Hopefully in the way it slows down, number one is by just getting reps, playing in games, practice reps. All those things help it slow down. And then watching film. The more film you watch, seeing how guys attack you at different angles off the backfield, inside the hole, outside the hole, all of that is going to help his perspective. So that way his eyes are caught up to what's going on.
We got another upper room member.
Uh-oh.
Money bags.
Money bag.
Welcome to the upper room.
Shout out the money bags. Welcome to the upper room. I like it, man. Welcome to the family. Yes, indeed.
Is McFarland using the same cleats as Ebron? Did Ebron slip a lot? That's from Rich Rasmussen.
He has some slips. Deontay has some slips. Steven Nelson, though, he was the corporate. Yeah, Steven, he had the bad slips, man. I remember seeing him happen a lot. But I don't know why. Like, it's weird because you see guys wearing those exact same cleats at a different position and they don't fall at all. It's not like you're the only guy here wearing the Nikes or you're the only guy wearing these Under Armours or Adidas, but yeah, it's one of them things, man. Whatever it is, man, fix those cleats ASAP, because that's the difference between being, making those plays and being a good player or not. And as fans, we don't care about you slipping. Like, we want to see you make the play. Imagine if Ben throwing the game-winning touchdown and Juju slipped because of the cleats. You think Deke would be over here like, man, Ben should have targeted where he was going to slip, or he'd be up here like, yo, you can't be slipping on that. Like, we know how you going. It's cool.
If Juju had a good game, we blame the equipment manager. If Juju was balling out that game, but yeah, if Juju comes in 2 for 10, maybe a drop, and that happens, oh man, that's a tough one.
Juju, you don't wear cleats anymore. You walk home from here on out, man.
Depends on if he's having a good game.
All right, fair enough.